So, this is going to be my review of He-Man Thundercats. I tried 3 times to do this entire review in Skeletor's voice, but I couldn't do it, and I just went fuck it, and I'm going to just review it as such. Plus, I really doubt you guys would want to listen to me trying to do a Skeletor impression. I used to be good at it, but I feel like I'm losing the voice. Shit. Anyway, so, He-Man Thundercats. I got this about a couple days ago, and I read through it, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. It definitely has the 80s feel of both He-Man and Thundercats, but it's a little more grown up a bit, I might say. Let me explain, and I'll explain in a moment. The artwork by Freddie Williams III is awesome. Most of you guys would know best. He did the artwork for Batman TMNT, and he's doing the sequel for it. He did the interiors here, and they're beautiful. I mean, seriously, there are some, like, splash pages in here that I would be like, yeah, I want that as a poster. Like, I would get that as a poster, honestly. So, the story is, yeah, also what's interesting is that this was written by the head writer of the Thundercats TV show, and also the people who work behind Turtles Forever. Yeah, I know, that wasn't a good movie, so that was depending on how you look at it, it's an okay film, at least for me. I don't know if that's the general consensus, but for me, I was just like, yeah, it was okay. It was fun, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like, you know, my jaw dropped the whole time, but still pretty fun, but we're not here to talk about that. So, He-Man Thundercats. This was a 6-part crossover done by DC, and you may be wondering, well, who did DC cross over? They didn't. You see, DC actually owns the comic rights to both He-Man and Thundercats. For those who are unaware, they actually did Thundercats comics in the Wildstorm line, but the Wildstorm line was taken down. It's come back under Warren Ellis, but I'm pretty sure Warren Ellis is like, I don't want Thundercats in my universe, so get them out of here. And of course, you guys know, I think they're still doing He-Man comics. I'm not sure, but I think they're still doing He-Man comics, but bottom line is DC was doing both He-Man and Thundercats, had the comic rights to He-Man and Thundercats, so they were like, fuck it, just do a comic. So, the story is that after another defeat at the hands of Lion-O, Mum-Ra gets, like, he has pissed off the ancient spirits of evil for the last time, and they're like, Mum-Ra, that's it, you get one more shot. So, there's like, look, you need a weapon that can fight the Sword of Omens. So, we've already found it, and it's called the Sword of Grayskull. Go get it! So, with all of the power behind him with the ancient spirits of evil, Mum-Ra literally moves Third Earth right over Eternia. I'm not joking. He literally moves it right, and I know, like, that would just mess with the planet's gravities, you know, the conflicting physics, but this is magic, so fuck you. So magic can go fuck physics sideways, hold it down and bind it while fucking it in the ass. That's how I've always viewed magic. Is it just fucking physics in the ass with a spike strap on? I don't know why I'm going too deep into this. I need to move on. Anyway, so Mum-Ra goes down to the planet, it goes down to Eternia, while the other Thundercats are like, what the fuck's going on? But however, something happens. Turns out the ancient spirits of evil have turned on him and went to Skeletor, who then proceeds to not only kill Mum-Ra, kind of, but also make him into a potion to drink. I'm not joking. Skeletor literally drinks Mum-Ra. But it doesn't kill him because, as you guys know, if you guys are way into Thundercats, then you guys would know that as long as evil lives, Mum-Ra lives. So, yeah, Skeletor's pretty fucking evil, so, yeah. So, while this is going on, the Thundercats go down to Eternia, but as this is going on, just as this happens, Mum-Ra actually wounds and kills Prince Adam. But however, they kind of do a Shazam thing where He-Man, where Prince Adam, before he dies, speaks the words by the power of Grayskull, I have the power, you know, and he becomes He-Man. And that's how he keeps alive for a little longer until Skeletor and Mum-Ra take that power away and kill him. So yeah, this is a very interesting comic. I mean, yeah, he does. There is a way they bring him back, and how they do a fight between Lion-O and He-Man. I don't know if I want to spoil that. If for those who want to read it, but because here's the whole thing. There's a big thing that's always been between Lion-O and He-Man. There's always, like, whoever would win in a fight between Lion-O and He-Man. The thing is that it wouldn't work, and they wouldn't fight because the Sword of Omens does not attack those with good in them. It actually shrinks away. So the writers actually thought of this, and how they managed to get to pit the Sword of Grayskull and the Sword of Omens against one another is actually kind of smart. But anyway, so this comic is a lot of fun. If you love He-Man and the Thundercats, I feel like it does kind of start out a little more He-Man, but I feel like it balances itself out along the way. And for 6 issues, this doesn't feel like... This is a problem I've had with several crossovers, where they kind of be a little more... They have some meaningless scenes, and kind of either like, maybe we should... Or maybe they dragged it out too long, like maybe this series should have been like 1 issue longer, 1 issue shorter. I've had that problem with crossovers a few times, now and again. This, much like the crossover I talked with Batman in the Shadow, this feels like nothing is wasteful. Everything is here for a purpose, and it does feel like an action it does feel like an action comic from the 80s, but a little older. Because they do swear in here, but it's not like, oh my god, Lion-O said, such and such, or He-Man said this and this. It is kind of fun because most of the villains do all the swearing. So, I kind of enjoy that the villains are the ones doing the most swearing. Like, there's also my favorite scene in this entire comic is when Skeletor, who now has the power of Grayskull and Mum-Ra, is fighting the Thundercats, and He-Man's like, do your worst, mage, and he's like, Skeletor's like, okay, abracadabra, and kicks Lion-O in the balls, and he's like, there, I just made the future generation of the Thundercats disappear. And that's why I love Skeletor. Because, like, he's simply having a ball. It is a little weird to hear Mum-Ra go, you and what army, jackass? It just felt a little out of character, but then that was the one moment. It just kind of felt like when Double D in Super Secret Crisis Wars said, dude. I don't know, maybe Mum-Ra, well, then again, Mum-Ra was turned into a potion and drank, so... Just saying that I feel like, some words could be said. Yeah. It is cool to see... The only thing is that they don't really do a lot of the character interactions between the rest of the Thundercats. This is mostly He-Man and Lion-O's story, which is fine. There are some great character moments between, like, Teela and Chitara, and Man-at-Arms with Panthro and Tigra. I wish they'd put someone with Tigra, but oh well. The other thing is that the big villains in here are, of course, Mum-Ra and Skeletor, but also the ancient spirits of evil themselves, which are finally free, kind of. And it is cool to see all these characters meet, like Jaga and the Sorceress. There's some just great 80s nostalgia in here, and they actually have some fun with like, they poke fun at multiverse stuff. They actually poke fun at DC itself, in a very fun way, and the whole multiverse thing at the end. It's kind of funny and cool at the same time, because it is like, it's still a cartoon, so I was pretty at peace with that. And like I said, Freddie Williams III, this dude can really do some great, just has some great artwork. He was one of the reasons why I liked Batman TMNT, just because his artwork is so great. And here, it just feels like he really got to play with all the colors, because like I said, there's some just excellent splash pages in here with this comic. Yeah, it just feels like a total 80s nostalgia trip. If you really love, Masters of the Universe and Thundercats, go get this comic, like now. It's out in trade. This thing was a ton of fun. Seeing all these characters, something that we've all, if you're an 80s kid, I'm not, I wasn't born in the 80s, so, but I did watch reruns. I watched reruns of He-Man and Thundercats, and I did watch the 2000s remakes of both shows, so, yeah. So, to have all these characters together, and it does feel like, it does also do some cool stuff in here, because I feel like the writers behind this comic, like I said, they worked on both He-Man and Thundercats. Not only they get these characters, but they know what they're doing. They've written these characters enough, and they've actually get to do some stuff in here that obviously they weren't able to do. There is some blood, but it's nothing gory. That's the thing, is it's just kind of, imagine if this was an animated film for PG-13. That's the best way to look at it, is that it's a PG-13 film, a script for a PG-13 animated film that was never made. That was a lot to say, but you get my meaning. So I really enjoyed this. I absolutely love this. Like I said, if you love He-Man and Thundercats, you're going to love this. This is probably one of my, I don't know if I'd say favorite crossover, but this is one of the better ones I've read. This and Batman the Shadow. That's two great crossovers back to back, I gotta say. So thank God for that. Thank God for DC making really good crossovers. I really hope the next one I read doesn't turn out to be a giant shit pile. Knock on wood for that. So yeah. Just a lot of fun. So if anyone out there has read He-Man Thundercats, let me know in the comments below. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.